Just last week, Transparency International released a report on corruption which it partnered with the Afrobarometer to conduct in some 28 African countries. This report, called the Global Corruption Barometer, is not the more famous Corruption Perception Index, CPI, published regularly by Transparency International. The objective of the Global Corruption Barometer was to seek the views of citizens on how corruption has changed in their countries over the past 12 months. This report was not an index and did not seek to rank countries in order of perception of corruption as the CPI normally does. The simple and straightforward question that respondents to the survey were asked was, how has the level of corruption in your country changed over the past year? Has it increased, has it decreased, or has it stayed the same? Suddenly, in our highly charged partisan political environment, this survey was wrongly interpreted as placing Ghana as the second most corrupt country in Africa. This is absolutely false. And for emphasis, I repeat, this is absolutely false. Despite all attempts by institutions that sponsored the report to correct this wrong interpretation, leading political figures have continued to spread this false impression. What can be the motivation for a section of our population to be so obsessed with trying to claim such an undignified title for ourselves at the expense of our nation's dignity and our international image? I leave the matter to the consciences of such persons. Sad to say, many other media networks, including our own respected national daily, the Graphic, also ran along with this falsehood and got the entire country engaged in a conversation that should never have taken place. Not only did the conversation end up misleading the Ghanaian public, it indeed also gave our country an undeserved negative image amongst the Committee of Nations and the international community as a whole. In fact, it was to avoid this kind of misinterpretation of the results that the survey methodology in the report itself stressed the fact that the results for each country, and I quote, are based on the subjective perceptions and experiences of citizens rather than an assessment against a common objective benchmark. Quotations closed. And so this quotation was put there to avoid exactly the misinterpretation that people have given to it. There was no ranking in that report, and it's absolutely false that Ghana is the second most corrupt country in Africa. We reject it completely. Mr. Chairman, I referred extensively to this survey in order to draw attention to the fact that it is only when we as a people decide to discuss the subject of corruption without our usual political biases and deliberate distortion of the facts that we can begin to make progress in tackling it. And for this, the media must recognize its critical role in facilitating this dialogue on the subject, rather than engaging in deliberate distortion of facts that then end up confusing the public. I therefore take this opportunity to once again call on our friends in the media to partner government in our effort to address this canker that has the potential to eat deep into the social fabric of our country and destroy the foundations of our democracy. The media must make every effort to uphold the fundamental journalistic principles of truth, accuracy, objectivity, and fairness in their reportage, even as we encourage them to seek and report on corruption and other criminal acts. For it is only when we all play our roles responsibly that we can indeed aspire to collectively and sustainably fight corruption.